Welcome to Read Locally. I'm your host, Barbara Henry, and our guest today is Linda M. Holbrook, former resident of Canandaigua, talking about her novel, You Wanna Go to Willard? Linda, welcome to Wood Library.
Thank you, Barbara. I'm very pleased to be here.
Most people think your book is about Willard State Hospital, the mental institution that was located here in the Finger Lakes for over 120 years. But it's not. What is your book about, and how does the title fit in?
The title is explained actually in the first chapter, but back years ago when the state hospital was open and functioning, it was used as kind of a place where people went when they weren't socially accepted into families or social situations. So people use that term to kind of scare people a little bit. And that was used on the character. So that's how it all began, is that phrase was common back then, and it was used on her, and it kind of stayed with her the whole time.
So it was sort of like a colloquial, regional thing that was sort of a threat in a way.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And people all had their interpretations of what that meant, and it was a social, kind of a degrading thing.
So what is the book about?
The book is about a character who gets questioned about going to Willard and has always felt different than others. She really has been unsure of herself, and she really wasn't getting the direction she needed to feel good about her life and where she was going. So it tells about stumbling blocks, potholes and speed bumps, so to speak, where she has to go through and make mistakes, learn from mistakes, maybe make mistakes over again before she really finds out who she is, even though she's got this tremendous drive to find that out.
And what's the character's name?
The character's name is Laura.
So is this sort of a coming-of-age story in a way?
Absolutely, yes. And
Growing
it's coming
up
of age without assistance, without guidance, without someone to help you learn about the things that normally would be given to you in an educational or helping hands family environment necessarily. So she had to find out a lot of things late and on her own through trial and error.
Which often happens with so many young people even today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that was one of the comments that I'd like to make about the book itself, because I think it can help guide people to try to not give up. When you're getting into a tough situation in life, don't give up, because there's always something coming along that's going to be good.
And you never know when it's going to pop up in front of you.
That's absolutely correct.
So that's sort of your overall message to
my
the
overall
reader.
message was, we learn, we make mistakes, we fall down, we have to get up, we have to go on. And sometimes it feels like we don't know what's coming, if it's going to be good or bad. But if you keep going, you find out that it can get good. Doesn't mean you'll ever have bad ones, but it will get good again.
So it's a story of inspiration.
Yes.
Good. We need
Yes.
those in
I think we
today's
did too.
world. Yes. Did you have a favorite passage in the book that you'd like to read or
I
share?
do have one that I kind of favor a little bit, and I will read it quickly here. The passage is as follows. Change is usually for the better. I never trust and believe that anything will work out. The old phrase, things happen for reasons we don't understand, seems to have deeper meaning to me now. Moving away from home made this come true. When I look back far enough, I can see things that happened to me that now make sense. I realize that my brother did me a favor by tossing me into the street. Many times I've thought of the path my life has taken. Events of my past are now floats and memories of trailing off into the distance, yet I see new faces and unfamiliar people waving in the road ahead. And I think that explains what we all need to look for.
That was very nice. Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
Right now, our listeners are probably wondering, who is Linda Holbrook? Tell us some about yourself, your background, and how it relates to writing You Wanna Go to Willard.
Well, I'm actually just another person in the public. I started out as a farm kid, and I learned how to get into the business world. And I found out that I could go to college, and that was a positive thing, and I enjoyed it, did a great job at that, and I learned how to go into different things. I've been a customer service person, I've been a cost accountant, I've been a cost analysis, and then I went into teaching. I am currently a retired elementary school computer skills teacher, and I got to writing because it just gnawed at me as something I thought I should do. I wanted to do, that I should do. I didn't know how to do it, but I thought, I should write. And I would write journals quite frequently. And going through a divorce, so I was writing more detail. So all of a sudden I had a story, I had a saga, I had a timeline of events, and put them together, and that's where Willard came from.
And where did that character come from? Your main character?
My
What was
main
her name
character,
again?
Laura.
Laura.
My main character, Laura, is actually a reflection of myself, and she has gone through similar, if not identical, traumas as the author, as myself. And she and I are basically the same person.
What is your writing process like, and how do you see yourself as a writer?
I see myself as a writer that may not write in a conventional way. I tend to write like I'm telling a story. I tend to write like I'm just talking to people and telling them something. And then it gets to be more and more. So you start out with an idea, you write down a part of a story, and then it just builds from there. It takes different turns and different paths, but you can still keep building. And that's kind of what I do. I take a thought and I build from it, and I watch something happen from it, and I keep going with it, and my imagination kick in once in a while.
Does the character take over and direct things after a while?
She does come to terms with her own self-confidence. She finally gets to the point where she has to prove things to herself to believe them. And she does. Stumbling down a few times, picking herself up, and getting the gratitude in the end that it's like, oh my goodness, I can really accomplish this. This is what her outlook is that she could never accomplish anything, and she has to find the hard way on how to accomplish those things. And she does.
This is your first book. How did you get published, and who is your publisher?
I am self-published on this first book, and I worked with a company called booksurge.com. They are an internet company, and they are a subsidiary of Amazon.com. They work with new writers or prospective writers on how the process of book publishing works. They work with you, they offer opportunities, they offer workshops, they give you guidance, they offer services which can help you get through that publishing process. And then when you publish through them, your book then becomes available on places like Amazon.com, booksurge.com, where the public gets it and gets to review and read and purchase the books.
And so that's print on demand. They don't do like thousands of copies all at once.
No,
when
they don't.
it's ordered, then it gets printed.
That's correct.
And that makes it very economically feasible for a new author.
Yes, it does. And the fact that we also have the new technologies that kick in, which make the Kindle process come into the picture also.
You're referring to the Kindle Reader
Yes,
that
I am.
Amazon sells.
Yes, I am. And I do have a file, and my book is in the Kindle format of books, so that they can be purchased online with that too.
Great. We also have, you want to go to Willard here at Wood Library for people to borrow. And I know some other libraries in the Pioneer Library system also own it.
Yes, I do.
Will there be more books to come? Will your character get a sequel?
As a matter of fact, she does get a sequel, because the ending of the book is kind of like open-ended a little bit. So the reader never really knows for sure if there is, but I can let you know a little secret. There is a volume 2 coming to the Willard book. I currently have another one that I hope to get out at the end of this year that will have the same characters but a different storyline. So it'll be kind of like a storyline to this group of people as they're going through different things in their lives. So I've got 3 books right now either in my head or on paper or in print, that will be using the same characters to kind of tell a family ongoing story.
Great, sounds good. We're going to put on the screen right now the addresses of Linda's blog and also where you can go online to get her book. Thank you, Linda Holbrook, for visiting Wood Library and telling us about your new book, You Want to Go to Willard. We also look forward to a book signing and author talk with Linda on April 29th here at Wood Library. And that's at 7 p.m. in the community room. So thank you, Linda, for visiting today.
Thank you very much for having me. I enjoyed myself immensely.
Great. We'll see you on the 29th.
Fantastic. Thank you.